This is the first bike in our new bike flip series. This is a 24-inch Diamondback mountain bike. Really like this bike, and this was actually the one that I asked the seller about originally. Then we hooked up, and I got these two other bikes with it. So we have a 26-inch Giant Boulder is the make on that one, and then a Specialized Expedition. So really good bikes overall. Got them for a total of 80, which I think is a great deal. I expect sales once we're done with this to be about 200. So we have a little over $100 in profit, pending any other types of parts or miscellaneous things we need to do. So this one probably going to need a new chain. I think the freewheel is salvageable. What we like to do with the chains is just to run them through the ultrasonic cleaner anyways. A lot of times it's just a surface rust and we can actually salvage the chain. If not, we'll just put a new chain on. They're pretty cheap, about $10. I'd rather take it off though and put a new master link because that's only about, excuse me, $2. So we'll see how that goes. But right now what I'm going to do is strip it down and start putting parts into the ultrasonic cleaner. And then get ready for my day job. So I do this during the early morning or afternoon. So it's really great side hustle. I love just being out here working on bikes and being able to make a little bit extra cash and help others and essentially recycle, because that's what we're doing here. A lot of people just like to throw these bikes away, and unfortunately there's a lot of life left in them. So I'll stop talking now and we'll just get this going. Okay, so I pulled all the components off the bike, took the freewheel off. You definitely see it's got a lot of rust on it. It is moving pretty smoothly though, so I think it's just surface rust. Again, I don't really have high hopes for this chain just based on my experience with all the other bikes I've done, but it's always worth a shot. It doesn't cost that much to ultrasonic clean it and put a master link on. If this breaks, then we'll just obviously take our master link back and use it on something else. So overall though, this is really all we have to clean. Good news on the rear axle is that it's moving nice and smooth and it's nice and straight. If you've seen our other series, you know a lot of times what we'll do is deconstruct the wheel completely and then put new grease and potentially new bearings too. Front wheel's pretty good. It's got a very slight wobble. I think there's maybe one or two spokes that I need to get at, but that looks good. The brakes look good. So really all we're gonna have to do is probably just clean the drivetrain there. Even down here, nice and smooth. So I'm not gonna tear it apart in the other videos I did. So probably not a lot of labor for this, which would be pretty good for us. So let me get these started and we'll check in once they're done. All right, so it's later in the day. I have a fan going, so it's gonna be a little loud here. But this is what the freewheel looks like after the bath in the ultrasonic cleaner. Same thing with the chain. The nuts cleaned up nice and clean as well. So one thing I will note is that I actually used new Evaporust in the ultrasonic cleaner, so that's why it came out looking so nice. So I'm gonna take this apart and re-grease it like we normally do, and then we'll continue with putting the bike back together. Alright, so I got the freewheel and the chain reinstalled. You can see I used a new master link there. Now what we're gonna do is get it all tuned up. So we're gonna start here at the rear derailleur. I'm gonna try and line it up so you could see it here. I'm all the way forward in this shifter, but we're not all the way down. So we need to adjust the tension and more than likely the limiting screws too. So I'm going to detach that, adjust everything, and then we'll keep filming here. All right, so the first thing we wanna do is take off the pinch bolt, or at least loosen it to where the cable doesn't have any play or influence, I should say. So I'm going to spin it up, and as you can see, it's still not dropping down. Might be hard to see, but there is a gear here. So the limiting screw on the high end needs to be adjusted. So what I'm going to do is back off the limiting screw here on the high end and have it drop. So let me get a screwdriver. And then this is the high. So I'm going to loosen it. Should drop here in a second. There we go. Quite a bit. Probably should have stopped the wheel. So that's good. So now what we'll do is I'm going to loosen the barrel adjuster just to give us some variability. We'll reattach it and then we'll start indexing it. So let me grab my pliers here. Put the cable back through the channel. Cable is obviously frayed, so we'll try and clean that up if we don't need to replace it. Hopefully we don't need to. So it's an index shifter, so one click up should move us to the next gear. And it's trying to jump, but it can't make it. So we're gonna loosen the adjuster. That's gonna add more tension. Shift back down. Shift one up. Two up, and it's still not making it. So we're gonna give it a little more tension. Start over. One up. Two up. 3, 4, 5. Alright, so the bike test rode really well. Not much going on there. So what we're going to do now is clean it up and then we'll post it. Alright, so we got it all washed up. Now what I'll do is I'll take photos for Facebook OfferUp and whatever other sites we want to post it to. Looks really nice overall. Obviously it needs a new seat, or at least a cover, but cleans up really nice and well. The freewheel and the chain came out nice. And yeah, stress tested it earlier, so it works pretty good. So I think we're in this one maybe $30 total, including the gas. Just the master link and a little bit of grease, but other than that, pretty easy. All right, time to go over the cost. So the entire group was $80. I spent $10 on gas to go pick it up. So the total pickup was $90. The 24 inches portion is about $25. I have a method to calculate it using just the final sale price, so kind of just estimating here, but that seems about right. Carrying that down, we spent about $5 in parts. The master link I think is about $2, $2.25, and then some of the grease, the cost of using the ultrasonic cleaner and some of our other tools. So estimating our total investment at $30. Sales should easily be between 50 and 60, hopefully a little more. I'm thinking that's about where this bike is going to fall. So that would be our profit of $20 to $30, and we spent roughly an hour between the morning and then right now putting it together. So really lucked out, pretty good profit for not that much work. All right, so the 24-inch mountain bike is all done. Really like this type of situation. We get an entire bike. The tubes were good. The cables were still working. The springs were fine. So overall, we really lucked out on this one. Hopefully the next two will be just as easy, although I kind of feel like these are going to be famous last words. Overall, still excited though to keep this group going and see where it ends.